All right. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Saturday, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Kandid Kontent, the place where we have a conversation with candid information for transformation and elevation. Hashtag kite. As you guys join us, please like, subscribe, follow, and share this content. I guarantee you tonight, this is information that you need to share with you. You're gonna be talking about it with your mama, your baby mama, your girl, your wife, your cousin, your friends. This is a topic for everybody, not just for ladies. It is also for men. So if you are a man and you're tuning in, please do not turn this off. You need this information as well, and you may share it. All right, and I'm about to kick off the show with this intro.
Inspire, encourage, and empower you to live life better with information for transformation.
Let's slow that over.
What's up, people? Welcome to the KFLO show, where the goal is to inspire, encourage, and empower you to live life better with information for transformation and elevation. Hashtag elevation information. We will discuss faith, fashion, fun, finances, and much, much more. And hey, don't just watch, like, and subscribe at IamKFlow.k. And remember, sharing is caring. Enjoy the show.
All right, what's up, ladies? How y'all doing tonight?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I am wonderful.
Good.
Oh, that's a better view. I like that view better.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Hey. All right, you guys, welcome tonight. My guests are Kadreca Wellness. I have Miss Tamika Simmons and Miss Kashoyna Tillis. They are in the wellness industry. Mm-hmm. And tonight we are talking about the M word, and the M word is
meditation.
No.
Menopause.
No. Oh, that M word.
That M
menopause.
Okay. I thought we were talking about one of the other M words that's so popular right now.
No, we're talking about menopause.
Okay, I'm on board now.
You're on board. Okay. So welcome, ladies. I'm so glad that you guys wanted to come in and talk about your business today. I'm very excited about this subject. I'm right in the middle of it. So I am very thankful for this conversation. Looking forward to what you guys have to say about it. And first of all, tell me how did you come up with the name Kadreca?
Oh, Kadreca actually is a name that is, what do you call it, amalgamy of all of our names. So the K-A comes from Tamika, the D-R-E comes from Andrea, and the C-A comes from Kashoyna.
I love it. I figured as much. Because us can come up with some names.
Oh, yes.
We for that. Okay, so let's jump right in, ladies. Tell me why you, and either one of you can answer. You can tell me why you started this company. Like, what was the need that led you to make this decision?
I think that's a Tamika question.
Go ahead, Tamika.
Tamika question. Okay. So with us, we noticed that there was this need in the medical and women lifestyle. We found that out whenever we were going through it ourselves.
Yes.
So Cookie came about and she was like, oh, I'm having these symptoms, and as well as our other partner and me also. So we were like, oh, okay, well, why didn't we know about that? We're best friends and we're not discussing these things amongst us. But for some reason, it's this thing that we just feel that we have to just deal with, So as women, we're like, you don't have to just deal with this. There's ways that we can come alongside you and kind of help. So that's kind of where we came up with the coaching business for menopause.
Yeah.
We're like to help women.
Yeah.
started with us coaching one another through it. So I'll share my story. I thought it was just, normal things were different things were happening, but I thought these were aging concerns, not necessarily perimenopause. So I remember just sitting down one day and my heart just starting to beat really fast. And I was like, what's going on with me? Hold on. I need to go see a cardiologist. And so I went to the cardiologist. They did the echo. I did the treadmill test, and everything was fine. And he was like, "You're perfectly fine." I'm like, "I am?" He's like, "Yeah, you can work out. You can do all the things. Make sure you're drinking your water." I'm like, "Okay, cool. All right." So then my daughter started to notice that I was a little snappy, baby. Okay.
That part.
I was a little snappy. And I would notice them looking at me like, Mom, it's not that serious. And one day I remember telling my daughter, I said, "Hey, can you go turn the ceiling fan on?" And she said, "Okay." She turned it on. Then about 5 minutes later, I said, "Can you turn it off? I'm cold." And she turned it off. And I was sitting there and I was like, "Can you go turn the ceiling fan on again?" Because, as a grown woman, one of the benefits of having children is they do these things now. I don't get up myself to do that.
Right.
That's what they do. So that's a responsibility now.
Right.
Remote controls, ceiling fans, all that. That's a child's responsibility. I've outgrown that. I've outgrown. And so she managed that expectation and she did what I asked her to do. And then she just looked at me and she was like, "Mom?" I was like, So I started thinking, what's going on here? What's happening? And I had heard the term perimenopause, menopause, all that. I said, wait a minute. Okay. One last thing that happened. My cycle started to change. The characteristics of my period started to change. My menstrual cycle, what it looked like, how it felt. I was like, this is different. I said, let me look it up. So I looked it up and I remember looking everything up and I sent a text message out and I'm like, I am in perimenopause, y'all. And they were like, oh, I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't know all these symptoms as I've researched. That's what's going on with me. I'm in perimenopause. I thought I was losing it. I don't know why I was getting so hot and cold at the same time. What's happening? And so my friends were helping me through the process. I mean, I've had numerous conversations with them about just little things. Tamika can attest to multiple 1 hour conversations about some small stuff, but I needed to really get it off my chest because it was anxiety producing for me at that moment. And we talk about it and it's like, oh, that wasn't that big. But this was a change in the norm of how I interact and how I respond to everything around me in my lifestyle.
Yeah, so for me, thank you for sharing because that I can relate. I think I hit mine. I started going through it must have been around 40 40. I know 48 was when it was in like full. Like she was like, if you don't have another cycle, like that's what it is. And so the peri part, because the peri is before, right?
Correct.
So I knew that all I knew is that I was tired and I didn't want to do nothing like no more. I was like, I don't care about going out.
Fatigue is serious.
And I was like, and so my friends for a long time were just calling me like old and the old lady and grandmother and all that. And which I am the more mature and well, not mature, I am the more laid back person, in my friend circle. But I was noticing like I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go out. Don't call me if it's past a certain time. I don't want to go. I need to get my sleep. And I didn't know that it was that. Because like you said, I didn't know anything about perimenopause. I had always heard about hot flashes, but that's the thing I knew about. I didn't know about mood swings or none of it. And so now that I know more, now that the information is out there more, people are more knowledgeable and we're talking about it now. Now I realize that that's what I was going through about, 10 years before I turned 48. I was like, that's what was happening. And I had no idea. And like you said, like now, like being snappy, now I am very quick-witted and very sharp. That's just who I am. But I noticed that I was doing it a lot more, especially with my mom.
Oh,
I had to like pull back and be like, what is this? Like, this is not me. Like, yes, I'm a little, you know, quick and a little snappy just normally, but I'm like, this is different.
yeah, because she's about to get you. You can still get
Yeah, and so I had to, because I realized that, you know, some of the things or some of the ways that I was acting was hurting her feelings. And I was like, but this is how I've been my whole life. Like, why is all of a sudden now it's hurting your feelings? So I had to step back and look at how I was saying things and how I was reacting to things. And I was like, oh, this is not the normal Kim. This is a different Kim.
This is a different Kim.
It's very, very different. So it's like almost like it, like my friend called it like body betrayal. And because that's what it is. Like my body is doing things that it's never done before. Like one minute I was real fine, you know, slim, thick, and fine, and the muscles was coming. I was going to the gym, eating right, doing all the things, and then all of a sudden, like it just stopped. Like I feel like the muscles went away. Everything started to go in different directions. I could no longer. I had no energy to even go to the gym. And so I was like, this is not cool. I'm like, why didn't nobody tell me about this?
That's the question.
Most
Why didn't
definitely.
anybody tell me? It's like invasion of the body snatchers. Like, what is happening to my body?
So I have a question for you, everyone. What did you know about menopause? Like, tell me what terms you were aware of before you hit this phase. What phase did the generation before you tell you, or other women that you knew? What terms did you have?
All I had heard about was hot flashes. That's it. That's the only thing. I never knew about any other, had heard of nothing. And because I was always a cold natured person, I was like, well, that sounds wonderful.
Girl, until it hits you the first time.
Until it happens. And I'm like, oh, this is a different kind of heat.
Most definitely, yeah.
So, Miss Tamika, what about you? What have you had, or have you hit that journey yet?
I believe my journey is starting. Most of my symptoms are starting this year. It's like I'm getting things little by little. As far as the fatigue and everything like that, I most definitely thought that happened last year. I even went to the doctor. I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. I had lab tests done. It was like, oh, no, historically in my family, there's RA, there's all these different situations that causes fatigue. So I had my RA factor ran, like all these different labs, like what's going on, what's causing this fatigue? And they never really could put a finger on it. Right. And then of course you bounce back, you better. So you really don't really kind of go into it anymore. But this year I noticed waking up anxiety. I hadn't even thought about anything. They say, whenever you have these thoughts of the future, stuff you can't control, then all of a sudden this anxiety comes over you. But when you wake up and you hadn't had a thought yet, but all of a sudden you're feeling all these anxiety like coming down your body, like why am I feeling numb and tingly and having this like anxious fear? And I hadn't even, it's just good morning, So all of these symptoms, whenever they come about, you really don't point them to, hey, this is menopause, because like you said, you didn't really have anything there stating, hey, when you come into this, or anybody before you to say, hey, when you come into this, these are the symptoms that you will be having. But everybody's unique and everybody's different. So everybody doesn't go through the same symptoms.
And that's the crazy part to me, is that people don't have the same symptoms, right? Like I don't ever remember my mom telling me anything about hot flashes or anything that she went through, because I don't even think her generation probably talked about it. She's 88.
It's called the change. And so I remember that term. She's going through the change of life. Okay, to me, the change of life just meant, okay, you've moved from your 60s into your 70s, or your 70s into your 80s. But I didn't understand that this whole body change was happening, that my body was being snatched from its previous space to another space based on my estrogen and progesterone and possibly testosterone changes. I didn't know that was the change that was happening.
Yeah. And so for me, like you said earlier, that you went to the doctor because you had your levels checked.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently I did that earlier this year, and he told me everything was fine. I'm like, well, it can't be fine because I don't feel fine.
At all.
Okay. Not to mention that I had a whole bunch of hair loss, and I know everybody doesn't get the hair loss. So my biggest struggle has been in finding someone to ask, well, what do I do about my hair? Because everyone else I've talked to doesn't have hair loss. Like it wasn't an issue for him. I'm like, well, I've had a full head of strong hair my whole entire life. So when the doctor told me, oh, well, that's just aging, that's just normal, I'm like, but not for me.
Right. Right.
So it's like the doctors like, where do I go to a doctor that can actually answer my questions and actually help me? Not just tell me this is just a part of life, this is just part of aging. No, I'm not, that ain't enough.
Mm-hmm.
I need help.
Yeah.
Right.
One of the services that we do offer with our coaching is coaching women on what questions to ask, what lab work to ask for when you speak to your OB-GYN or your primary care physician. It's not that we as providers, because both Tamika and I are nurse practitioners, and it's not that we don't want to give you the correct information, that we don't want to go deeper into details with you in the offices. But when you do come into an office, many times it's not just you. You walk in and there are other people sitting there too, waiting for their appointments. So what happens is the high points have to be hit. What are you coming in today for? Fatigue. Okay, let me run this panel of labs to see where your fatigue is coming from. And we talk about those things in general, but with menopause, you really need specific lab work to be run so that you know where your levels are that are related to your hormones. So hormone issues are what it's changing. It's up, it's down. And the one thing about it is that your hormones, the levels are not just saying, hey, I'm going to go here today and then I'm going to drop a little bit. I'm going to go here tomorrow. Your hormones are literally just doing this. They're doing this. So we need to know what are they? What's the average? What's the average of your hormones? Where are you? What are you doing? Because I feel good for 30 seconds, then all of a sudden I'm hot, then I'm cold, then I'm happy, and I'm moody, and I'm driving in the car and I'm about to cry because I saw a dog on the side of the road. So
Yeah, they change from morning, noon to night, and they usually take a level to seeing exactly what's your normal ranges. How do they drop? How do they rise? So,
and each
I have somebody
hormone
that
creates different symptoms.
who what say that again?
Each hormone change creates different symptoms.
Okay, so one of y'all gonna be my doctor.
Call us.
yes,
No, I'm
because
serious.
the medical care, it is essential, but that's what we do as coaching. We bridge that gap in between the medical care, the lab works you have, and then we connect that to kind of come alongside you and help you manage those symptoms. So not a quick fix. We know it's not going to change overnight, but we're along with you in that journey.
This is a thank you.
You're
That's what I
welcome.
got to say. Thank you, because Andrea, who's not with us this evening, she was the coach that I had, and my session was, she was the one that told me you need to go to the doctor and have them check your levels. And so, because before that, I had no idea. Like I said, I didn't know what to do. So when you reached out to me about having a menopause coach, I was like, yeah. And so my sessions, I only had a couple of sessions with her, but she was really, very understanding. My conversations with her, she was telling me, some pills that I could take, like, like I think it was like vitamin. No, she was telling me about the B12 and some other, items that I could take, which, and I felt like this too. I felt like, why did my gynecologist is that not part of her job to say, hey, are you experiencing any, symptoms? Like, because I was 48. And she's the one that told me, well, once you go for a year without your cycle, then that means, you're in full menopause. But I'm thinking, so the next phrase should have been, what can I do to assist? or who can I, you know what I mean? So I feel like she didn't do her job.
Okay. Well,
am I wrong?
I'm going to share a little bit of data, especially related to us as African American women. So our counterparts, the other cultures, African American women have the most severe symptoms, number one, and we have symptoms longer than other cultures. So, and the number is 50. So everyone says around 50 is when you'll probably go into menopause. Over the years, coaches, OBGYNs, they're taught so much about delivering babies, birth control, and other female issues. So often they are not taught inside of their medical programs about managing, treating menopause. So on top of that, let's think about the research. Number one, women are not researched enough overall in the medical community. We are not researched enough. Yeah. Then let's talk about the three of us here, African American women. So, and we are not the only minority. Let's look at Asian Americans. Let's look at individuals who may come from Indian descent. We're not researched enough. So there's not enough research about women overall, then specifically about our cultures and how our bodies respond to menopause. So now we have a plethora of information about menopause. Individuals have seen how important this is, how it's affecting our bodies, how it's affecting our lifestyle, how it's affecting our minds, and our professions, because money is also being lost professionally, because now Miss Kashania, a little moody at work, baby, she's snappy. She gonna tell you what's on her mind. So now you're having visits with HR. And you don't know to say that I'm really struggling with something. And they don't know what's going on with you, because there's not a lot of conversation, and there's also not a lot of money put towards research for women, number one, and menopause, number two. So we are just now, as women and as scientists and individuals in the medical community, getting research, deeply scientific research. So there's research, which means like the three of us, we talk, and from our conversation, we feel like among the three of us, there's a higher percentage of hot flashes. But then we need the research that is done in labs and in studies where you have multi-factors, where you have individuals, 2,000 individuals, different races and backgrounds that you're checking to see what symptoms are affecting them. So it is now just coming to fruition that it's a focus, because it's causing so many problems. We're losing jobs as women. We don't feel like ourselves. Our self-esteem is dropping. Our weight is gaining, and our self-esteem is dropping because we're like, what's going on? I mean, I'm eating right, I'm doing all this. Our motivation is dropping. Our periods are changing. So there's so many things that are happening that this affects our life. This is not a medical event per se, but it is a lifestyle change, and it has to be addressed, because there is a lot of research right now about testosterone. We have T clinics all around the world. Where's the M clinic at? We want to talk about menopause. We want to talk about the estrogen, the progesterone, our testosterone levels. So it just goes back to, I wouldn't say that she failed you or he failed you, but there is a waiting sometimes for you to say, I'm having all these things, or you to ask for specific lab work so that you can verify what you feel like you're feeling. So that is what I will say. And you may not have that information to know to ask that.
She was a Black woman. I still felt like she should have asked me.
And she should have.
Yeah.
And I promise you that over the next 5 years, there are going to be new screening tools for research that will be developed for women. And this will become a primary focus when we go for our annual visits. It's not there now, but in medicine, this is what we see. When we speak up, when we say we're having problems, when we identify that there is a crisis and something that 100% of women go through.
Yeah, 100%.
100% of women go through menopause. If you live to that age, you're gonna go through menopause, period. So why don't we have more research, more tools, more resources for something that 100% of women go through? Because every single man is not going to struggle as the next man does related to low testosterone. But we have T clinics everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
and they don't even go to the doctor like we go to the doctor.
Right. Right. They go once a year, if that. So if there are any men listening, please go to the doctor and get everything checked out. We just want you to do that because we love you and we want you to be well just as we want the women to be well.
For sure. Okay, so let's talk about some ways. Now that I've got all my grievances out. Let's talk about the ways that we can manage, because for me, one of the things I'm dealing with also is weight loss, and I ain't but that big anyway. And I happen to mention it to somebody. By the way, you got to know who your person is and who your person ain't to talk to about certain things. But I mentioned it to somebody. I was like, man, I'm losing weight. I'm like, this has to be menopause because, I was trying to eat healthy, for for a good few months. Mostly all this year, I was trying to eat healthy. But then when I realized how much weight I was losing, I'm like, well, I can't even really afford to eat healthy right now because I was dropping so much weight. And so I was kind of like, I really don't. So then I started eating bad again because I don't want to look frail.
Oh,
I'm telling you, I'm only 5'2", 100 and right now 135 pounds.
Oh wow,
so that's really small, right?
Yeah.
That's really small. And my normal weight is like 141. I've held 141 for the last I don't know how many years. That's always been my weight. So for me to lose 6 pounds. 6 pounds looks like a lot of weight for somebody that's only 141. You know what I mean? And I'm short in stature. I'm not I'm a very small person. So that was concerning for me to be losing weight. So now I'm back to eating pizza and pasta. And now I'm eating all the stuff because I want my weight back. But that's not good.
You're triggering Tamika.
No.
And that's not good, but it was like I didn't want to look sick.
Yeah.
Understand. So with that, you most definitely want to check and make sure that the weight that you're losing is not muscle weight, because muscle does weigh more than fat. So we know whenever we come into a certain age, we start losing muscle. So you in that instance, you just have to do a body composition, kind of see what's your percentage of water, bone, fat, muscle, see where that lies, because maybe movement, going to the gym, gaining a little bit more muscle, toning, you'll see that your weight actually stabilizes. So that's one of the things that we would go through in our coaching, just to kind of find out what's the cause.
I have additional question here. Tell me, what were you eating
when I was eating healthy?
Yes, when you were eating healthy.
I had started on probably about a year or two ago. I started on the plant-based foods. So no real meat, no real chicken. Everything was plant-based. I do eat vegetables. And I'm not a big fried chicken, beef. Like I don't eat all that. So I was basically baked chicken, grilled chicken, fish, fried fish sometimes, and vegetables and a starch. Like that's how I've been eating for years.
Okay.
But the plant-based stuff is a little pricey. But I just got to a point where I just physically couldn't stand the smell of meat cooking, like in the microwave or frying or anything. I was like, I can't do meat. It was like really hard for me to eat. But then I started to lose weight. I was like, well, let me go get this sausage. Eat me some fried chicken tenders or something.
Okay. So as listening to, you talking about your diet, the reason why you are losing the weight is because you were eating so well. There's nothing wrong with the fact that you were eating well. However, when you hit menopause, in order to maintain, you have to actually have 90 grams of protein a day. That's like the magic number, is getting 90 grams of protein in your body a day. So it does not sound like you were getting that. So even if you're on plant-based diets, we also need to look at how we're going to get those grams in on a daily basis. Because I think I need to eat like you eating, because I'm trying to lose about 6, 7, 8 pounds over here.
Well, you lose it and send it over here. Okay, so let's talk about some of the how to manage the hot flashes. We just talked a little bit about how to manage the weight and the muscle and eating. So what do we do to manage hot flashes?
Okay.
You want me to take this one, Tamika, or you want to take it?
Sure, you can go ahead. I'll just interject.
Okay, thank you. So, number one, hot flashes. This is the symptom that is related to your entire being. And when I say that, hot flashes are related to what you physically do, how you nourish your body, how you are thinking, the environment that you're in. You have hot flashes that can be brought on by your thoughts. You stress, you get a hot flash. So in those situations, then we have to think about the mindfulness, and we can walk you through processes to help you in your situation. Because what may be stressing me may not be stressing you, and it requires a different intervention. Let's talk about your nutrition. Certain things that you eat, you're going to have to start watching how it creates and triggers a hot flash. So what I could eat before, I eat it now, and I eat it at the wrong time of the day. Now, when I go to sleep, my levels are changing. My glucose levels are changing in my body, and I'm waking up in the middle of the night. My sheets are wet. And this is all based on how you're nourishing your body, because there are also foods that can help you with hormone management. Then we want to look at physically. You got to move. Everything that we have been hearing all this time, you need to get 30 minutes in of this or that, walk, move your body. You move your body and you will find that you will have less hot flashes. Okay? So you got to move your body. And these are some of the biggest points related to our body, because again, this is holistic. This is overall how we think, how we move, how we eat.
Everything is interconnected. You have to know that you have your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. All of that nervous system is connected to managing also your hormones. And just like she said, as far as what you think, that proves to have a physical effect on your body. What you eat, your gut health is connected also to your nervous system, which connects to your hormones. So what you eat, when they say you are what you eat, that kind of goes on throughout your body as well. And then as far as your activity, because you have to understand that when you're in parasympathetic, you're kind of like, you're calm, you're relaxed, all that. But when you're in your sympathetic, it's a fight or flight. So you kind of get into that moment, get all those juices going whenever you're working out. But then it also helps balance out to you going to your parasympathetic, where everything kind of calms and smooths out. But one or the other, you can't be in one all the time. You can't be in the other all the time. So all of that is just interconnected and balancing it all out.
Yes. Another thing that I missed saying and that I want to interject here is the sweating. We have to also manage how we restore the electrolytes in our body. So we have to start drinking more electrolyte drinks.
Because water is good. Water is great. Hydration, our body's mostly made up of water, but electrolytes flow. Those are the ones that keep everything balanced and flowing well throughout your whole system. So you don't just want to, drink water. You want to make sure you are drinking something that actually has the electrolytes to replenish what you have lost.
So I need to look for a drink that contains electrolytes.
Having that would be most definitely good. But we're not saying don't drink water. We're just saying, yes, we're just saying whenever you're sweating, that not just water cures, or again, you need to most definitely have electrolytes with it.
Okay. See, that's good information. Now, I don't know what electrolytes are. But since you told me I need them, I'm going to get some.
It's basically like when sports Gatorade, or for your children, whenever they have diarrhea, they're losing all of that electrolytes through that, right? But you're replacing that back with Pedialyte.
Yes.
So, you have different drinks that have the electrolytes to help rebuild.
Okay, that's good information. I want to talk a little bit about just the mental aspect of it, because you mentioned, working out. And I've noticed for me, when I go to the gym, even if I don't feel like it, I mean, I can be exhausted, and I will still go to the gym just to. You having a hot flash, ma'am?
Yes. I know you probably see me lean up and lean back. I'm turning my little fan on, get cold, my little fan off.
Girl, I'm here with you, girl. I stand. I'm standing for you. But for like exercise, even if I'm exhausted, I notice that if I go to the gym, it just to move my body, it helps. I don't know what it helps or how it helps, but it helps me mentally. And I don't know why that is, and I don't even ever really break a sweat. I'm not going to the gym to just be like Angela Bassett, but I'm going just to keep my body moving, even if I never get a six pack, which I probably never will. But I still go because it just helps somehow with the balance of my mental.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Yes. Go ahead, Cookie.
So one of the things is that it's increasing your endorphins. And so your endorphins are your happy hormones. And so you don't have to go lift heavy to have endorphins released in your body. So just walking is a good way to get your endorphins moving. It's happy to move. When our endorphins increase and we have more happiness, we have a little bit more mental clarity. So that issue that we're thinking about, we can think about it a little differently now.
Yeah.
Focus on our mental health. In those moments of clarity, you can think about how you're going to manage things differently.
Yeah.
And that helps with our mental health. Research shows that movement helps with mental health, period. So we need to move. We should be moving. Lots of times, if an individual is dealing with depression or anxiety, it's requested that they go outside and walk in nature. The walking, the movement, being outside in the elements, it has a calming and a soothing effect on our overall emotional and mental health. It helps to soothe our neurological system.
Okay, well, thank you for explaining. Because all I could tell people is that it helps. I don't know why it helps, but it just helps.
It
and
does.
mind you, I'm not breaking nobody's sweat up in the gym. I'm just in there just to be in there to clear my mind.
That's clearing your mind.
That's it.
Clearing your mind.
If I get a couple of muscles, then hey, yay for me.
Yay.
Yay for me. If I get a couple.
Get your muscles. But movement is very important.
Yeah. So another thing I want to talk about is like just weird symptoms. Like, have you guys heard of the is it like called phantom smoke, where you smell smoke for like no reason? Have y'all heard of that?
I haven't had the phantom smoke, but my nasal passages, my sensing is different. So I tell my kids, I'm like, what's that? And they're like, we don't know what you're smelling. It's almost as if when women are pregnant, we can smell things a lot differently. They're more intense. So a small scent that we may not have been able to identify before, that that, you just pass by it. It was in my tracks. I'm like, oh my gosh. And sometimes it'll even make me nauseous as when I was pregnant. And so I will say for that, get you a little ginger, some natural ginger. And if scents are making you nauseous or you're feeling that nausea, get you a little bit of ginger.
No, it was just I would be smelling cigarette smoke. And I'm like, nobody in this house smokes. But I would be smelling cigarette smoke. And a couple of my somebody else mentioned it also. They said it on Facebook that they were just smelling smoke. And somebody was like, yeah, me too. Oh yeah, so this lady, I want to thank Delicia Quarter for joining us today. She's been in the box commenting. She said, yes, smelling cigarette smoke. She's heard that. Yeah, so I was like, well, I had no idea. But so it's a thing. When you hit menopause, you may smell smoke that's not there.
True.
Welcome to the party.
Well, you may have headaches that you did not previously have.
Oh yeah, I was having really, really bad headaches for a long time. But I think that was caused by some other things too. I won't get into that.
That can happen. So yeah. One of the things that I want to tell you overall you may experience is dryness. And when I'm talking about dryness, I'm referring to dryness from head to toe, regardless of how much water you drink. So about dry scalp. We're talking about dry eyes. Your mouth feeling a little bit more dry. Let's keep going on down the body. Dry skin. Vaginal atrophy. The vagina gets dry. Toenails and fingernails can begin to get dry and brittle. So dryness at this stage of the game is related to hormones, not your water intake, although you still need to get your water intake in.
Okay, well that's some. Well, you have done nothing but just proven furthermore that I'm in the full blown menopause. Because I went to the hairstylist one day and she was like, your scalp is so dry. She's like, your scalp is never this dry. What is going on? I'm like, girl, I don't know.
And let's talk about the stages of menopause. So there's perimenopause. Perimenopause is when your body starts to change, when your hormones are beginning this fluctuation process. And this can be very mild symptoms. In the very beginning, it's barely even noticeable. And you can move into where you're starting to notice the symptoms, which is just more severe perimenopause symptoms, okay? And menopause is considered when you've not had a period for a full year. At that point, you're menopausal. And what most people fail to understand is that we are, after this space, we are now moving into a space where we're menopausal from that point on, okay? So at that point, we manage the symptoms, but our body will then begin to stabilize. And we reach a new normal for ourselves. So I like to tell people, like, you're going to make it through this because you've already made it through it once. It was just different.
Yeah.
You made it through puberty. You remember puberty where you get pimples on your face and you feel so bad about yourself. You get a little hotter during your periods. You may have had nausea and throwing up and your mood, baby. Okay?
Yes.
And I know that that's real because I have a 13-year-old in my house right now who rolled her eyes at me before I hopped on the podcast.
Oh.
But some of the same things that we deal with in menopause, we've made it through it during puberty. But it's because there's so much more weight on it now. We had our mom and even our fathers would talk to us about periods. He knew that a girl would have a period, but when we hit menopause, nobody's talking about it. We don't have any support. So where's the support at? Can I get that same puberty support over here on this side where I have money and a job and all these things to worry about? I ain't have nothing to worry about. I was in your house when I had started my first cycle, when I was going through puberty. And now I have so many more stressors in my life, so many more things I have to manage. We may be in caregiving mode at this point in our life. We may have health problems at this point in our life. And no, where's the support? Where's the support as my whole everything is changing on me? So
Kadreca Wellness is your support.
That's where it is.
Yes, and just wanted to add, Yeah, just want to add as well, like she's talked about the stages. There are women who basically are, we used to say post-menopause, but they've gone through more of the hormonal changes, but not really had symptoms until all of a sudden they'll go to one of their doctors to get a DEXA scan, bone scan. They notice they have osteoporosis, and they were like, "Oh, well, you've been going through these menopausal symptoms and having these hormonal changes for all this time, and it's caused damage to the bones and." Just to let you know, in this instance, we're here as well to manage whatever journey you're having from then on, because not everybody comes right at the perimenopause or just when they have an outward symptom. If you find out in retrospect, we're here to walk through that journey with you.
We are.
Absolutely. Listen, this has been so informative for me. What is this show? Candid information for transformation and elevation. So whoever's watching, I hope you got some good information. Tell us where we can find you guys on social media.
We are at Kadreca Wellness on all platforms, and our website is kadrecawellness.com, and that is KADRECAWELLNESS.com.
And I did have the logo, but I forgot to import it. That's my bad.
No problem.
But I will put your website in the comments and in the notes so people can just click and find you guys. So do you guys have any final words for this evening?
I have one final thing to say. In the Bible, it speaks about the proverbial woman being able to look at the future and to laugh at the future. And this is a part of what we are bringing around full circle. Once you know and you have the knowledge, and we know that this is an opportunity in our lives to transform, and we're going to transform into a different person. But that person does not have to be mean and cranky and grouchy. And we can look forward, not saying, oh my gosh, I'm going to hit the change, but here is something new that's coming. I have joy going into this new space. I know I'm going to change, and I'm going to go into it with a positive attitude. I'm going to be able to laugh at the future, have joy about the future, laugh about what I used to be able to do that I can't do now, laugh about this hot flash. And when I had one in the middle of a meeting, and I'm pouring in sweat, and I'm still managing a meeting. So it's an opportunity for us as women to be able to look forward with joy, with confidence, and knowing that Kadreca Wellness is here with you to help you walk through your individual journey, because nobody's journey is the same. We're here also to help you manage your relationships, because it changes our relationships in this space sometimes as well. Yes. We want the husbands to know. Yes. We want the children to know.
Yes.
Our programs to help educate males, partners, as well as children about this change. My daughters know it. My daughters, they know.
Yeah.
They help me through this. Because unlike the generation before that I didn't have a lot of information about it, I'm talking to them about it because I want them to be a generation of children that are aware. And when they reach this stage, they have support. They have their godmother.
Well, to continue on what you're saying, that legacy will continue on. Most definitely giving the coaching, giving the information so you can tell your children and your children can tell their children. So the knowledge continues to pass along.
Absolutely. Well, is she back? Coming back in. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on. This has been truly informative. Again, I saw spoke to one of your coaches, Miss Andrea, a while back, and she was just very, helpful and just, help me, not stress out about it. Well, hey, these are some things that you can do, to help you through the journey. So she was very helpful. So I'm going to recommend Kadreca Wellness. If you're watching, I highly recommend it, because this is not something to be afraid of, but it is something to be aware of, because it is coming.
And knowledge is power.
Yes, knowledge is power, and handle it with grace.
Yes.
Handle it with grace, because it's coming, and we have support now. So
Yes.
I'm very thankful. So I'm going to hit this outro, and then we will be out. Thank you so much, Tamika, for your time, and
Having us.
Yes. So I will be talking to you guys soon. Let me go ahead and
get this Show, the one and only. It's the KFLO Show, so get to know me. The KFLO Show got favor on me. All these gifts and talents running through me, yep. Get in the know with KFLO. Subscribe to the KFLO Show on YouTube to watch live and catch up on shows you missed.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks for inviting.